Hello, Patrice. Hi, Gilles. You said you were living a fantastic adventure with Portugal tonight. The adventure, it's a beautiful adventure, right? Yes, yes. Honestly, yes. I don't know what to say. Honestly, I'm always afraid of big words. It's only sport, but it's a great and fantastic moment. When I said that they didn't stop surprising me one more time. That surprised me. They were capable to go and bring unbelievable capacities on the last action. I wasn't thinking about looking at the scoreboard. I don't know if the score was 24, maybe we would have been fourth on the ranking from the pool. And I do you know if we had the opportunity, or if we had lost that opportunity. But when I see how it ends, that's not the first time they're playing that kind of trick on me. Recently, Philippe Saint-André said that Portugal was playing a total rugby, a full rugby, a total rugby, and was really enchanted by this kind of game. Is tonight the climax of your total rugby as you played? Yeah, maybe a little bit, because this final try corresponds to this team's DNA and the Portugal DNA, the Portuguese DNA in rugby. So these players are really generous. They perfectly capable to play throughout all the width of the pitch. I said that the Portuguese Championship is fantastic. At some point, there's less structure, but regarding the speed and the use of all the pitch width, it's maybe closer to the French Pro D2. There's speed, and it's a new and golden generation. They have fantastic players, Geronimo Portela, Mata, Villame Mata, and some of them are a bit older, but Madeira as well. That's exceptional. Yes, kind of balance and projection. What is your balance from this tournament, which was kind of exceptional for Portugal, and what is your how do you see the future? Some players will probably retire soon, but how do you see this perspective in the future? Well, the balance is that with such a team, in 4 matches, they were able to make some progresses. They were lacking some stuff on the first 2 matches against Australia. We were about to do something pretty good. Only with our stats about mistakes, about errors. I mean, but today this match is more accomplished, so the balance is obviously pretty positive, because what's most important is the evolution, the progression of this team, match after match. This team could prove that little by little they had a speed of game that was really interesting. that was really the richness and the fullness of that of this experience. Even though there are key players who are going to retire, maybe Mike, Chico, I think he wants to play at least one more game for his selection number 50. But with Chico, you must never say never, because one never knows. Maybe Anthony as well. Well, I don't know, maybe a couple of players. Samuel is not going to be easy to replace him, but with the first row, there are some great perspectives with young players in Portugal who are already showing some good qualities, and in terms of speed to play at that high level. Maybe the position, the most difficult position would be the number 9. That's right. That will be tough to replace Sam at this point. Even though Pedro Lucas is capable to give a lot of speed in the game, he's still pretty young, and he needs to master the rhythm of a full game, of a full match. And Joe Bello as well has great qualities. But I think one must need them time to play in matches at that level to help them to make some progresses. But I think the perspectives are pretty good. There's a under 18 generation as well, which is pretty good. If the federation keeps on working by placing those players in French divisions, French championships, with the semi-professional leagues as well. Just like the example of what's happening in Fiji, I think the Portuguese rugby can still on moving forward, going forward and progressing. There are a lot of passionate. There are a lot of passions who are really invested into these championships, and I think today you've seen the result of the training, on the game itself. I think on the basics there still needs some exterior support, but I think on the game itself and the capacity to take decisions, I think they are pretty good. Hi Patrice, at the personal level, what would you keep in that Rugby World Cup humanly? Everything, because I remember the first game and first match in Brazil with those lads of 18, 19 years old. And I still remember Simão Rubento was next to me. And I talked to Hervé Nurgueti saying, I think he's 15 years old. I think we went there with really young players, and now that I see their character, what they can show on the pitch, I think it's great. I'm so glad about this adventure. Well, partly we were lucky as well. We must not forget that we were eliminated by Spain, and we managed to be successful. So we managed to work throughout those 6 previous months. It was difficult to go and qualify in Dubai, but what's great is the capacity of this team to learn and to make progresses. The progression is something that really hit me in the first training program we did in 2019. I remember that I talked to Hervé Nurgueti. They understood everything in 30 minutes, in half an hour, regarding the progression. And I said to Hervé, I think this can be pretty quick. I think you'd have a kind of new ambition regarding the game itself and the strategy. That's the reality. That's today's reality. Finally. Hi, George. Tonight you have just realized a fantastic match in this World Cup. Are you the spokesman in a rugby for the small teams? Because we are talking about a new World Cup with 24 teams. Maybe you're a team proving that the tier 2 teams still have their places on the highest level. Yes, obviously. Uruguay and Chile are showing great skills. They started in 2019. And Pablo Lemoine did really great job with Chile. I think some generation will want to evolve, but everybody knows that in rugby, one needs to be to play against a team at a certain high level to flourish. And I would say that honestly, the great nations need to bring money and to fill the stadium. I'm not sure if France, Portugal will fill the whole stadium, but I'm not sure if it's the right example because there are a lot of Portuguese here in France. But at some point, we have to face an economical reality. I think that's the limit. Even though World Rugby gives enough resources, World Rugby helped us a lot in the preparation, in our preparation in Dubai and for our qualification to go and get progression level, high progression levels, and to adapt to those levels. Even though there's a will and the capacity from World Rugby, there's an economical a money reality, especially for the small nations. And from time to time, they're going to accept and play against tier 2 nations, but they cannot do that 2, 3 or more matches and games in a row. So that's probably what all these nations would need in the end. Hi, question to José. I'd like to know how you felt during the anthem and in this stadium was fully dedicated to Portugal, as Patrice just said. Well, it's a lot of emotion, obviously. As Patrice said, it's been a 4-year work for the last year. We worked a lot, worked hard. We could think that everything was over, and finally we tried to come back to the score, and we scored at the very end. So I would say that today we could feel that this match was slightly different from the former matches we played against the other team because it was really hard. It was hard work, hard struggle on the pitch, and when we see all these Portuguese behind us, that gives shivers in the back, and it's fantastic. It's really intense, and today is a great day for Portuguese rugby. As I said before the match, this date is a history, and that's most fantastic in rugby. It's doing something that stays forever, and everybody will be able to say that we did it, and it's fantastic. Hello, can you hear me? All right, I'd like to know the future of Portuguese rugby is going to. You're going to write it with Portuguese from Portugal, or as you are doing so far with binationals, French and half Portuguese rugby players. Is that for me? Well, I think, well, I do hope that we'll still be playing with this mix is kind of the key for our success, even though today there are a lot of Portuguese players who are playing in the French Championship, but as Portuguese players, and we'll still have to work on that, so that Portuguese players are capable to play in European English or French championships, because in Portugal Championship is just not enough so far. So we would need always those players with Portuguese origins and who don't have the opportunity to play on the French team. We still have 6-7 players who are playing with us, and they're playing like real Portuguese players, and they'll help us a lot. And I think over the future, we'll be able to get new players with this profile, and we'll have the will and the pleasure to welcome those guys who wants to play for Portugal, and because Portugal is their country as well, so that's part of the key of the success in the future. La toute dernière question, s'il vous plaît. true that when I left for France, my ultimate goal, my personal goal, one objective, one goal of Portugal was to be able to play for Portugal in the World Cup. I knew that it was an opportunity as a professional player. It was something I had always in my head, and I always dreamt about that when I was playing a Rugby World Cup with my parents. And today it's a victory. We are making history with this victory, and that's fantastic. And as I said to my teammates, hopefully this is not the end, but the first step of something bigger, something even more interesting that can happen to Portuguese rugby. It's true that we waited for a long time to qualify to World Cup, and I think that now the guys realize that it's fantastic and amazing to be here, and we need to really focus on the next next Rugby World Cup. I hope that's the first step for something bigger. Thank you very much.